Insomniacs and troubled sleepers of Reddit. When you wake up at 3 a.m. and can't fall back asleep, what do you do? Undefined. 1. Weed/drugs. 2. Reddit/red. 3. Fap. 4. Wallow in misery. I relive all the awful, uncomfortable, embarrassing, humiliating experiences or mistakes I've made in my entire life and deride myself for being an idiot. Because that's a really useful way to spend time at 3:30 am. And then I fantasize about winning the lottery. Thank you. I knew I wasn't alone. It's a sleepy cycle because you can't fall asleep because it all just raises your anxiety and brings self-loathing and panic and concern about long-term effects. I end up tired and hating myself. Sleep With Me podcast is excellent for interrupting this and giving your brain something less anxiety inducing to occupy itself with. It's weird, rambling, but it works. I simply wallow in misery. Thank you for asking. Same here. I lay there annoyed that I'm not asleep and then start thinking about all my personal failings until I fall back asleep half an hour before the alarm. I never have enough time during the day to dwell on all my regrets, and the extra 2 to 3 hours in the middle of the night really helps me get around to it. I usually listen to a podcast rather than look at anything on my phone. I find that the light from the screen only makes it less likely that I'll be able to fall asleep again. Undefined. I use a meditation app that also has something called sleep stories, which are basically bedtime stories for adults. They range in topics from rules of tennis to stories about traveling through mountains by train and such. I find it's similar to podcasts, but as the topics are not that engaging, it helps me fall asleep better. Undefined. I agree. Calm is my go-to. I wear a set of soft sleep headphones that I bought for about $20. The story I listen to on repeat is called The Shipping Forecast, and it's a British guy reading weather patterns for particular shipping routes for sailors. It's complete nonsense to me, so I don't get too involved in the story. I do a reset. If I can't get back to sleep, I get up and walk through my bedtime routine again and then get back into bed. It usually works. Sounds like a good idea, but my bedtime routine is just to go to bed. I used to have insomnia in middle school, and having a set bedtime routine really helped with convincing my brain that it was indeed time to go to sleep. Before that, I would just put my PJs on, turn off the light, and go to sleep. I get up for the day. I've had some days where I'm running on half an hour of sleep. It truly sucks, but I don't know what else to do. If I just lay there, I never actually fall back asleep and usually end up getting out of bed a few hours later. Consider seeing a sleep doctor/therapist. Saved my life. I'm considering this. Can you share more about your experience? Lie there for hours and feel like sleep in the morning. Occasionally take a shower. That's me right now. I usually browse Reddit for a while or watch YouTube until I get sleepy again. Sometimes it gets really bad and you just lay there. Then the sun comes up and the birds start singing and all you can think is, "Peep." I'm there. Right now. My body hasn't let me sleep for more than 4 hours a day for years. I usually go on Discord and talk to my cousins who live in Ireland. I live in the States. If they're not on, I just do whatever. Undefined. Do you suffer from it? Or is it enough? No, I don't suffer from it. I feel completely fine for the rest of the day. I'm breaking my rules by being on Reddit. But here you go, fellow insomniacs. 1. Do not get on your phone. Turn on the TV. Or turn the lights on if your intent is to go back to sleep. You're just going to peep up your brain. 2. Lay still, close your eyes, and start with the letter A. Name 5 things from a category that start with A. Baby names, city names, items in a grocery store, types of animals, things you would find in an office. 5 things from that category that start with the letter A, then move on to the letter B, then C, and so on. I skip Q and X. 3. If you make it through to Z, move on to another category. I've been trying this the past few weeks and rarely get through a few letters before falling asleep. This is my new go-to. I do this until my intrusive thoughts get in the way and fail. Get up and wander around, trying to figure out why I'm not asleep. Do I need to pee? Am I too hot/cold? Do I need some water? If I drink the water, will I need to pee again? I hear an owl. It sounds so close. If I go to the window, will I see it? OMG. It's right there. Watch the owl for a while. Get into bed. Realize that my back hurts. Maybe that's why I'm awake. Try to go back to sleep. Since I'm already back in bed, it's not happening. Get up for some painkillers. Try to pee again just in case. Since I just drank another glass of water. Get back into bed. Every anxiety I've ever had crowds into my head. Listen jealously to my husband's untroubled slumber. Get out my iPad and earbuds to watch something to distract my brain. Doze off for an hour or two to Blue Planet. Wake up tired. If by what do you meant how do I go back to sleep right away when this happens to me? Then sorry, I can't help you. Lol. Masturbate. Came here for this comment. I see what you did there, and I like it. I meditate until I fall back asleep. Plus I remove the extra drape to get myself colder, as I read somewhere that being colder makes it easier to fall asleep. Exactly why I sleep with the ceiling fan on. Do the washing up quietly so I don't disturb my man. Go outside and look at the sky. Empty the rubbish bins quietly. Snuggle my cats. Get lots of licks and headbutts in return. Snuggle my hippopotamus stuffy named Earl and try and find a position where my body doesn't hurt due to my chronic illness. Worry about everything I have said or done in my 40 years on earth. Try and go back to bed. Snuggle my man. Wake him up. Stroke his back until he falls asleep again. Take my cats back downstairs and snuggle them again. Cry. My body hurts so much and I have to get up for work in 3 hours. Put on a comforting, familiar film or TV show like Harry Potter or B99 with the volume down super low. Try and listen only and cover my face with a pillow to reduce the stimulation to my brain so I forget I'm worrying about everything I have ever said or done and focus on reciting the dialogue in my head. Fall asleep hugging my cats and Earl. Wake up 1 hour before my alarm is meant to go off. Rinse. Repeat. I'm sorry to hear about your chronic pain, but I may be able to offer advice when it comes to the part where you said you think about everything you've ever said and done. I used to not sleep because of this kind of anxiety too until my therapist taught me a surprisingly simple but effective mantra. I just sit or lay comfortably and repeat phrases like I deserve peace and rest, I cannot change the past, and I cannot do anything about it at this very moment and stuff like that, while also following a specific breathing pattern. It helps me tremendously when the gears start turning a bit too much, undefined. I've tried rhythmic breathing exercises. They work on occasion. As for self-affirmations, they work less frequently. I'm under the care of a very good psychologist who has also recommended such things. I had a sleep study done a few years ago which showed I have physiological differences in my hypothalamus compared to a normal brain. Sleep has been an issue for me since I was an infant. My brain doesn't send the right chemicals at the right times to help me sleep. Yes, I've tried chemical replacements. They didn't work for me. But thanks for the suggestions. I can't even fall asleep until 5 AM on most days. And then I'll just watch the sun come up and debate if I should nap or get up and try to fall asleep earlier later on to reset my schedule. Rarely works. You just described me. Right now. It is 5:14 AM. Here's to sleep for the both of us. 3:18 here and sitting on my couch with a gin waiting to feel even remotely tired. I think it'll get a bit better when the quarantine finally ends and life goes back to some normalcy. Stay safe and sane out there. And sleep well if you can. Read a book. It usually puts me to sleep. If I'm stressed and woke from a nightmare, I will do a few breathing exercises or meditation to calm down before trying to sleep. I lay down. I try not to cry. I cry a lot. You're looking at it. Ditto. I lay there for an hour or two before driving off again, usually as my alarm goes off at 4:30 am. My current time I seem to be waking up around is 2:34 am. The last several nights that's the magic time. I'm hoping as we get into winter I'm in Australia the cooler nights will help me sleep more. I would get up and start the day, but once I'm up the dogs want to get up. Then I'd end up waking everyone else. I hate insomnia. I wish I could get more than 4 hours sleep at night. But even more, so I hate that my 17 years old is already showing similar signs of sleep deprivation and insomnia, and not even her sleep meds are working effectively now.